Hiya! If you're like me, not trained in airbrushing, but have a compressor and a set of foundations, then this one's for you. I bought my airbrushing system and my accessories, all my foundations, primer, colour adjusters and all the blush and the luster colours from Obsessive Compulsive Cosmetics when they were at IMATS, January this year it was. I've had it for 12 months. I haven't trained in airbrushing. I wanted to get the system. I wanted to get the products and just try them, play with them and see what textures they are and see whether I can do it. And then once I got familiar and comfortable with using an airbrush gun to do my foundation, then I thought maybe I'll take a course. I struggled with it to begin with, but I kept on at it, and I finally devised a way of matching my colour foundation to my skin, and I wanted to share that with you. So to begin with, I analysed my skin tone, and obviously I'm a yellow based skin type mostly. I do have very red cheeks, but I'm a yellow based skin type, and so naturally I picked the yellow foundations which are in here. There's 5 in here and they go from light to dark, but you might not have as many, or you might have bought just a couple of the full size matching your own shade. But I just got the 5 sample bottles, which even though I've used them, you know, I haven't even gone down, you know, I haven't even used them that much that, you know, I'm running low or anything like that. What I did initially was take the bottles to my jawline here, which is where you should be matching your colour foundation, just holding the bottle to my skin and thinking, that one's too light, I'm not going to use that. This one is quite light, but it could be my colour, so I put that to side. And this one looks like it's my colour, but a little bit dark, so I put that one to one side. This one looks okay. It seems to pick up a little bit of the red tone in my skin as well, so I kept those 3 together. This one is obviously way too dark for me, so I dismissed that one. And that one is way too dark with me, so I haven't used those 3. The ones I kept out were these 3 shades, Y1, Y2 and Y3, and I popped them on my skin here in 3 dots just to see which one matches my skin the most. So these are the 3 shades on my palette, light, medium and dark. So I'm applying those 3 shades to my jawline, which is where you should be testing your foundation. So I'm putting the lighter colour here, the medium colour here, and then the final colour here. And what I'm looking for is which colour seems to blend into my skin the most. And it looks like it's this colour here, Y3 at the moment. But I know Y3 from experience is too dark for me, simply because I am much darker around my chin and around here because of these pigment problems I have here. But if I applied that up here to my cheek, it is really too dark compared to the middle one. But I'm still not happy with all of these colours. When I blend them in, they still just don't look right on me. But the closest one I think to my skin is that middle one, Y2. So I'm going to keep that foundation aside. So I felt that Y2 was the closest to my skin colour, but I know that it's not perfect for me. You can go ahead and pop that in your gun and try that and see whether that suits you. If you're yellow based. If it does, then go ahead and use that, and if you like the coverage and the colour that gives you, then you've tested your colour, you found the colour that matches you, and that's fine for you. Obviously I'm using yellow based foundations to start with because I said that I was yellow based. If you're red toned, then obviously do the same but with the red toned and see if you find one that matches completely or as close as you could get, and then if you want to use that alone, then that's fine. You can go ahead and do your foundation with your airbrush, but I'm not happy with that colour on its own. I have a lot of redness to my skin as well, so whereas I can look quite yellow, some days more than others, I've got a lot of redness around my cheeks. I think my pigmentations are slightly red toned as well, so I think up here as well I'm a little bit red. So I do feel that you know, the red foundations may help me somewhat. So I'm going to do the same again with the red foundations. So the lightest one is obviously going to be too light for me. That one looks a little bit too red for me, but in some places it looks like it would be okay. So I'm going to keep that one aside. That one looks good too. That one was lighter than the one I showed you just a little while ago. That one looks like a darker version of the first one I showed you, but we'll try that one for the process of doing this. This is way too dark. This one's not been mixed properly, but you can see that that's going to be too dark for me as well. I'm going to place those on my jawline from lightest to dark. And I think they look very, very red on me. I think this one here is going to be the one that I go for if I was to just use these alone. But I suspect that if I did use this on my own, in fact I know because I have tried it, it's going to make me too orange. Okay, so this is the yellow tone foundation that matches my face, and this is the red tone foundation, which I think also could match my face. I have tried them both separately in the compressor and airbrush my foundation, and the yellow one just makes me look too ashy and the red one just makes me look too orange. So I also tried mixing them in equal parts together, the yellow and the red, to get a neutral base. And I can do that with foundation, regular foundation okay, and match my skin colour perfectly, and I'm happy with it. But with the airbrush, I still look very red. I tried mixing more of the yellow and less of the red, like 2 parts yellow and 1 part red, but I still look orange, and I'll show you that. I've mixed the two together on this palette, and you can see just from that mix there that it's very peachy looking. When I apply that to my cheeks, I'll do it like this. You know, it's okay, but it's better than using them alone. It does go. But I still notice a mask when I apply that. So I wanted to take the peach out of this foundation and mask it a little bit. So I used my very basic knowledge of the colour wheel and applied that to the foundation mix that I've made. So my foundation to me looked too peachy, which is red, which is, you know, red tones, orange tones. So I know that the opposite colour to red in the colour wheel is green. So I tried using the green from the colour tester within that mix in various sort of drops, you know, in various sort of, what do you call them, parts. And I came up with a mix that I thought was perfect. So this is the green colour adjuster, and I've made 2 exact mixes of foundation on my palette. One of them I'm going to mix the green and one of them I'm not, so you can see the difference that it makes. I'm just putting 1 drop in. So you can see immediately by mixing the green in, I've got much more of a neutral base here than this, which is much more reddy. So when I apply that to my skin, you can't see it, and that's how foundation should be. So this is the yellow on its own. That's the red tone foundation on its own. This is the mix of the 2 yellow and red tone foundations together. And then this is the one that I've mixed now. And you can see that that is too light and it's yellow. That's too, that's a bit dark and warm, which is red. this mix here is okay, it's not too bad, but it still is on the very warm side. But this here, it looks a little grey because it's not been put in the compressor, and it's really concentrated on here. And usually I do 2 drops of each of this yellow and red to 1 drop of the green. That is my mix to get them together, because I've only just done 1 of each and a tiny bit of green just on the palette here, and then applied that concentrate mix just here. It looks a little grey, but it's actually adjusting while it's on the skin, and it is more my skin tone. It blends in much better than any of the others. It has literally taken me about 8 months to work that out. I kept using the foundations just on their own to begin with, and just not achieving the colour I want to, and you could really see that mask, and you can see the colour was not me. And then I switched to the red tone ones, and I just looked like an orange or a tomato. It just was so warm for me. When you step out into normal light, it just didn't look right. But now when I apply these two, I like the colour that it gives me much better. So it's again this this warm tone foundation, the yellow tone foundation in equal parts, and then that one to adjust the colour. So I'm going to do that now, apply that on my skin, and you can see what that looks like. I'm not going to apply it with concealer. I really do need concealer today, but I'm not going to apply it with concealer, just so you can see what the colour's like. Okay, so that's my mix in the cup there. I'm going to back bubble that. That's all mixed. That's done. Obviously that needs powdering, and I need to do my eye makeup and everything else, so I will look a little bit pale. Foundation is done. I'm just going to apply powder. It's really important that you don't apply powder until it's completely dry, because otherwise you'll drag the product across your skin. And you don't need an awful lot of powder with airbrush foundation. The blush I'm using is Body Shop's Petal, and I love this. This is new. I think I got it for about £15. I'm applying the pink colour there to the main part of my cheek to contour, and then I'm applying that golden shimmer just to the tops here to highlight. Just going to use that dark purple colour there and apply that to the outer corners of my eyes. And I'm using that lighter purple underneath that darker purple just to blend together. Just deepening the crease with that dark purple again. I'm going to use like this taupey golden colour on the inner corner of my eyes. Just applying that same colour just here under the brow, but very, very lightly. It is nearly Christmas, so a little bit of sparkle under here is fine. Finishing with my Million Lashes mascara, my all-time favourite at the moment. I'm literally going to throw on a little bit of gloss. I've thrown on the eyeshadow as well. There was no pre-planned ideas as to how I wanted to do my eyeshadow. I've just done it for the sake of showing you the whole completed airbrush foundation look. As you can see, it's very, very natural looking, and it still does complement regular makeup, the eyeshadow, the cheeks and the gloss. So it doesn't mean you've got to then go in and airbrush your cheeks or airbrush your eyes. I haven't got to grips with airbrushing my eyeshadow, but I do love airbrushing my blush. I love airbrushing them. I really get a really nice line, which is much different to using the brush. I also find that because of my face shape, I can do my cheek one way here and my cheek another way here, and I never get them perfect when using a brush, but when I use the airbrush, they often tend to be just perfect. So I really like that about the airbrush system. I hope this tutorial was useful to you. I really hope you try it. It's better than your airbrush sitting in a box on a shelf and not being used. If you've got the products, if you've bought the whole system with all of the foundations, then play with them, try them out, don't let it go to waste. Yeah, the only downside is obviously you've got to clean all that up now, so I'm going to go and clean up and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.